In 1973, an American singer-pianist was enjoying a very high profile thanks in part to the inclusion of one of her songs in one of the most popular movies of the prior year. With that velvety voice and those feather-like arrangements, I am talking about Roberta Flack, and from her 1973 album Killing Me Softly, the track Conversation Love.
Reflections to the wind where they belong. Surprising things will rise to the top.
Okay, light jazz symphonic string arrangements with that, the light piano touches in the major seventh chordal centers oftentimes, and the string magic of Deodato. Yes, the Brazilian arranger who was making quite inroads in the U.S. industry at the time, figuring out a number of recordings. And let's see where the lyrics are going. Throw sad reflections to the wind where they belong. Surprising things will rise to the top. Interesting. We gotta ponder that.
Painted dreams flow. All of the pain has to go and find its space for love will come and take its place.
Oh, I love those bass lines, and hear that little glockenspiel, and let's and hand-painted dreams flow. All of the pain has to go and find a space, for love will come and take its place. Yeah, inspirational.
Full time illusions always hide you in the end, and haunting ghosts can replay their part.
Hear that bass work? That is courtesy of Ron Carter. Yes, the ubiquitous presence on the jazz scene during the 1970s, and Eric Gale credited on guitar. And yeah, those bass lines just are really staying out. And there are all these little details of the string and brass or string and woodwind arrangements. Anyway, I'm hearing like little flute, a flutter, little light touches of piano here and there. It's just also refined, so elegant, so well, as I said earlier, light as a feather. It's like, yeah, feathers on clouds.
To keep tender smiles down, don't let them turn you around. The answer's clear, your peace has always been right here.
great at holding those notes. They just kind of like ooze out of her. She's not like a forceful singer by any means. I wouldn't really call her like a like she's no belter, but it's almost like she's just like really laid back, and it just kind of like quietly, just sort of naturally oozes out like wind for, and it's so effective and compelling and gentle. I love that na in that flat key, in that like E flat. Those soft, smooth bass lines just sort of flowing along amid the string arrangements and light, kind of like pastel, wavy detail of it all. Let's see. Full-time illusions always hurt you in the end, and haunting ghosts can replay their part to keep tender smiles down. Don't let them turn you around. The answer's clear, your love has always been right here. It's basically just about overcoming the odds and focusing on the positive in life. Yeah, written by a co-write between Terry Plumeri and Bill Zeigman. Let's hear another track from the album Killing Me Softly. A cover of the track's the Leonard Cohen composition, Suzanne. I'm slightly reminded of Sunset by Roxy Music. It's just the piano arrangement and similar keys, I think, being formed like at the beginning.
Suzanne takes you down to a place by the river. You can hear the boats go by, spend the night forever. You know that she's half crazy, but that's why you wanna be there. She feeds you tea and oranges that come all the way from China, and just when you want to tell her that
Let's see where this is going. Suzanne takes you down to her place near the river. You can hear the boats go by. You can spend the night beside her. And you know that she's half crazy, but that's why you want to be there. And she feeds you tea and oranges that come all the way from China. And just when you mean to tell her that you have no love to give her, then she gets you on her wavelength and she lets the river answer. And you've always been her lover. And you want to travel with her, and you want to travel blind, and you know that she will trust you, for you've touched her perfect body with your mind. Okay, it's pretty self-evident. The the sub well the second person in this song that the singer is singing to is out on a, I don't know, like a weekend getaway by the river with this, I guess, really quote unquote hot woman who's a little bit messed up in the head. And so this man knows that he can't fall in love with her, but he's there for the excitement and the adventure. And just when he works up enough sense to walk away, she lures him back in. Yeah.
You have no love to give her. She gets you on her wavelength, and she lets the river answer that you've always been her lover. You wanna travel with her, you wanna travel blind, but you think maybe you'll trust her. She's touched your perfect body with her.
Now I really like these arrangements, how the bass is just laying down these smooth, sustained low ends that are kind of like creating this kind of dark atmosphere, and the piano is just gently, softly leaving light keys here and there, very, very sparse, almost kind of ambient like. There has been some, or like proto-ambient music consisting of just like kind of low-end dark drone with maybe light piano. I could imagine Eno doing kind of an arrangement like that, like on Another Green World. Yeah.
Jesus was a sailor when he walked upon the waters. He spent a long time watching from a lonely wooden tower. And when he knew for certain that only drowning men could see him, he said, all men shall be sailors then, until the sea shall free them. But he himself was broken long before the sky would open. He was forsaken, almost human. He sang beneath your wisdom like a storm.
Her voice just kind of oozing almost, just so laid back, like almost as if she's kind of in this sort of environment that she sings about, this like riverside. Yeah. And Jesus was a sailor when he walked upon the water, and he spent a long time watching from his lonely wooden tower. And when he knew for certain only drowning men could see him, he said, all men will be sailors then, until the sea shall free them. But he himself was broken long before the sky would open. Forsaken, almost human, he sank beneath your wisdom like a stone. And you want to travel with him, and you want to travel blind, and you think maybe you'll trust him, for he's touched your perfect body with his perfect mind. The last four lines are basically a modification of the four final lines of the first whole group of text. And this seems more metaphorical. It seems like Jesus has turned into a metaphor for the most interesting quote I've seen about Jesus recently was that he only supposedly had like 5 or 6 followers in his own lifetime. It's I guess used as kind of an inspirational verse. Yeah.
But you wanna travel with him, and you wanna travel blind, and you think maybe you'll trust him for his touch, your perfect body with his mind.
Yeah, that's an interesting metaphor that the lyrics alter, well, in several different ways. For you've touched her perfect body with your mind, and then the second time, for you meaning the second person that was being addressed in the first verse. And now, for he's touched your perfect body with his mind. He being Jesus, and I guess you being the person, the second person being addressed in the first verse. Yeah, I'm still kind of trying to correlate the two verses. I stand behind the comments I made, the analogies I made about this arrangement. Yeah, I am hearing like definite, kind of like proto-ambient qualities in this. And of course, there's also the percussive element that is more like evocative of some of the other hands on here. I'm trying to see. Do we have? Oh, we've got Ralph McDonald on here. And Grady Tate responsible for drums. I think a little bit more pronounced than the last track we heard. And Don Sebesky, conductor, horn arrangements, string arrangements. So strings are either on this track Sebesky or Deodato. Yeah. But this is really... if anything, the two people really dominating the sonic environment here are Flack and bassist Ron Carter.
Suzanne takes you down to a place by the river. She's wearing rags and feathers from Salvation's army counters, and the sun pours down like honey on Our Lady of the Harbor, and she shows you where to look amid the garbage and the flowers. There are heroes in the river, children in the morning. They are leaning out for love. They will lean that way forever while Suzanne.
She's starting to really put... Her voice is getting much fuller, more like voluminous. a bit more like assertive, more commanding. Yeah, she's really kind of swelling up more and just kind of being a bit more. She's transforming her.
Holds the mirror. When you wanna travel with her, you wanna travel blind, and you think maybe you'll trust her. She's touched your perfect body with her
I love that key sound right there. It's kind of like you can follow the key change two ways. You could go G F, or you could go 5 major 7, like D E over the G F. Hear those strings swelling up, just kind of perforating. Hear her hold those notes for so long. I gotta cover the third verse. Now Suzanne takes your hand and she leads you to the river. She is wearing rags and feathers from Salvation Army counterfeiters. Okay, so we've gone back to the present. The second person, the person being addressed in the song, and the first subject, Suzanne, and him. So it's realigned to those two. And the sun pours down like honey on Our Lady of the Harbor, and she shows you where to look among the garbage and the flowers. There are heroes in the seaweed, there are children in the morning, they are leaning out for love, and they will lean that way forever whilst Susan holds the mirror, and you want to travel with her, and you want to travel blind, and you know that you can trust her, for she's touched your perfect body with her mind. I'm wondering if perfect body just means kind of not so much like perfect body, quote unquote, as so much as just like your body is a temple. Like any body is perfect because it's the only body that you have, It's the body that you need to live. The third verse, now I guess I'm kind of seeing a theme when all is put together. The first verse is about desire. The second verse is about conscience, spirituality. And the third verse is about social, ecological concern, is about political. It kind of invokes political idealism in some way, like the first deals with the second person struggles with his own desire, guilt, vice. The second deals with his spiritual void, his need to believe in something higher than himself, his search for the ultimate truth. His third deals with his disillusionment and idealism, or his idealism suffixed with disillusionment and wish to like make the world a better place, but feeling helpless about it. I mean, because poor people are invoked in the third verse. Yeah, it's just a man's misgivings and just inner conflicts with his own conscience. It seems to be the underlying theme of these lyrics. Yeah.
Suzanne takes you down to a place by
That was Roberta Flack with Suzanne from her 1973 release Killing Me Softly, and before that, Conversation Love from that album. Yes, one of her finest long players, Roberta Flack, beautiful vocalist, tasteful like co-arranger, who employed a great team behind this record to give these songs a very lush, full, airy, gentle sound, and really refined, gentle, soft, soothing voice that is restrained and yet effective and communicates. Yes. For more rubies and sapphires from the catalog of Roberta Flack, see the directory of albums by American soul artists linked in the description below. For reds and purples from this album, several of the ones after it, and several of the ones before it. Like and subscribe and follow me on social media, and leave a comment if there are any observations that you have about the two tracks that we just heard. The arrangements, the layers, the nuances, the different instruments and the sounds they each contributed, and just the most evocative moments musically, vocally. Yeah, comment on the vocals, the lyrics. Yeah, what moments stood out to you? And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most air-traveled trimaximalist, signing off.